In a small town nestled amidst the serene countryside, there was a certain road that people spoke about in hushed tones. This road was said to be home to a ghostly figure, a lady dressed in a flowing white gown. She was known to appear without warning, and it was especially during the dark hours when she seemed to make her presence known. One particularly stormy night, the sky was heavy with clouds, and the rain poured relentlessly, accompanied by a howling wind. Jack, a weary man who had just concluded a long and tiring workday, found himself driving down this notorious road on his way back home. As he navigated the winding road, the windshield wipers worked diligently to clear away the rain. The raindrops seemed to tap persistently on his car's roof, creating a melancholic melody. Jack strained his eyes to peer through the rain-streaked windshield, and then, like a specter summoned by the elements themselves, he saw her. A woman standing at the roadside. She was adorned in a white gown that billowed in the wind, and her expression appeared to be a mix of fear and sadness. Moved by compassion, Jack gently applied the brakes and pulled over to the side of the road. The sound of gravel under the car's tires signified his stop. Rolling down his window, he asked, "Are you okay? Do you need a ride?" The woman in the white dress turned towards him, her eyes filled with a deep, haunting sorrow. She didn't speak a word but, instead, silently opened the rear door and got into the car. As she entered, an eerie chill seemed to fill the vehicle. As Jack drove through the woman in the white dress, he felt an icy whisper brush against his ear. It was not a sinister presence. It was a voice, a name. Startled and haunted by this experience, Jack could not shake the feeling that there was more to this ghostly figure than met the eye. With the rain still creating a steady rhythm on the car's roof, Jack glanced at the rearview mirror, but it revealed an unsettling sight. The back seat was empty. The woman had vanished, leaving behind only a damp spot on the seat. Panic gripped Jack, and he pulled over once more, anxiously searching for the mysterious woman. However, there was no trace of her. It was as if she had dissolved into the night, leaving behind an aura of inexplicable unease. With a heart that felt like a drum beating wildly, Jack reluctantly returned to his car. The feeling of disquiet seemed to linger in the vehicle. He continued his journey, driving a little faster now, the raindrops on the car's roof turning from a soothing rhythm into an unsettling, almost ominous symphony. As he approached a bend in the road, his heart leaped into his throat. The woman in the white dress was back, standing in the middle of the road. This time she seemed more vivid, more real, and yet her presence felt even more unsettling. Jack slammed his foot on the brakes, but it was as if time had slowed down. He couldn't stop in time, and he drove right through her. Or at least, that's what it felt like. Her icy presence seemed to envelop the car, leaving him shaken and bewildered. Shaken and trembling, Jack sped back to his home, his mind awash with a sea of questions and fear. He knew he had encountered the phantom hitchhiker, a ghostly spirit forever destined to wander the lonesome road. Intrigued, he began to research the history of the road, digging through old newspapers, records, and local archives. He discovered a tragic tale from the past. The woman he had encountered was once a living soul named Mary, who had met a terrible fate in a car accident on that very road many years ago. As Jack continued his investigation, he came across a family photo, and his heart dropped. Mary bore a striking resemblance to the woman he had seen. It became clear that Mary's spirit was seeking something more than just a ride. She was trying to communicate, to reveal her identity and her unfinished business. Driven by a sense of responsibility, Jack set out to find Mary's surviving family members. It took time and effort, but he finally located them. He shared his chilling encounter and the message he had received during that spectral encounter. The family, upon hearing Jack's account, was deeply moved and incredibly thankful. They had spent years not knowing what happened to Mary on that fateful night, and her loss had remained a haunting mystery. Jack's revelation brought closure, and they could now lay their beloved family member to rest with the peace and dignity she deserved. With Mary's story and spirit no longer wandering the road, the town's once haunting road transformed. It became a place of reflection and remembrance. Mary's memory lived on, serving as a lesson about the enduring power of connection, one that stretched beyond the boundaries of life and death. Jack's involvement had not only given Mary the peace she had longed for, but had also enriched his own life with a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment. The road was no longer haunted, but instead held a shared history that brought the community closer together.